What happened to Quinn on the missed extra point? I know the crowd was booing him pretty heavily, but did that affect him?
I mean, no. I mean, that's unacceptable. That can't happen. He knows that. He just let his emotions get carried away and kind of kicked the ground a little bit and pushed it. And that's got to be fixed immediately from a mental standpoint, and can't have that ever happen again.
Ambry seems to really be progressing in the kick return. Talk about what you've seen from him.
He's explosive, fearless. He's what you want back there. It's a really good combination we have now. We got Ben Mason, Brad Hawkins, Ambry, 3 true freshmen working together, getting to know each other, feeling each other out, because all 3 of those guys could get the ball, and 2 of them have to be a blocker, on every kick, and really, really happy with the way that unit's progression and how those guys are really coming together and feeling each other out and stuff like that. Really happy with that group.
How has Brad taken to going from wide receiver to safety to Viper in such a short kind of stretch there?
Brad's a great kid, and I've known him for a long time now, but always, in my mind, always saw him as a really, really good, capable safety, even back when he was a sophomore in high school, and that. So, kind of kept it in his mind, even though through the recruiting, it was kind of a dual deal where, hey, they want you at receiver, but don't forget about defense. You're a heck of a player. And then his path took him just playing offense in his last 2 years of school. But he always kind of had that defensive mentality, big physical receiver. So when Coach approached him about it, he was all for it. And then, he came in as a safety, and, we just saw, a bigger physical kid that's not, afraid of contact and to mix it up, and, asked him if he wanted to start learning the Viper as well as safety. And he was all for it. His eyes lit up, and he was excited about it. So he's taking it too, and that's, I can honestly say he's getting better every single day, more comfortable and better at really in the box type stuff. He's a pretty darn good cover guy, but in the box stuff is where he has to kind of get his feel, and he's getting better every day there.
You've had several players on the defense, switch around positions. How does that help them, as far as A, versatility, and B, just learning the defense overall?
Yeah, I mean, that's important. You get a good breadth of understanding, the defense. I mean, if you can have a safety mentality and then move down and be that Viper spot, you can always move back, and you get, you understand the coverage as a whole and the way it all fits together. So I think it's great to have them move around as long as they can handle it. There's obviously a real, big thought process as coaches to that. We're not going to move a kid if we don't feel like he can handle it and make him take steps backwards. So, that's calculated, that's thought out when we're moving a guy. That says a lot about them able to, understand different schemes and move positions. But I think it's good when you can do it.
We know Brad Robbins has the big leg. Is consistency just going to come with experience?
I hope so. We're not looking to use that as an excuse. The inexperience. He's got a great leg. He's in a different system, in a different scheme than he's ever been in. We're asking him to do a lot. We put a lot on our specialists. Especially the punters with the directional punting that we do. We want to make it, as much pro style as possible. That's what we feel like gives us an advantage. So he's got a lot on his plate, and, we're hoping that he just continues to improve, which he has, and he is. But he's another one. We got to see more out of him. It's time for him to step up, and he's being pushed every single day.
What was Khalik's reaction to seeing that play on film where he makes the great move to get in the end zone in the passing lane and then can't quite hang on to that ball?
His reaction was the same thing he had in the game. It was, oh my God. I think that's about the best way you can explain it is, it was close. He almost made the play. And that's something that we'd like him to make, obviously, but it's a really difficult play. Did a heck of a job just reacting to it and knocking it down, and it's just game of inches. It's right there, and it rolls off his hand. And, instead of getting a touchdown, they got a punt.
Chris, who are some of the guys on special teams other than, we see returners and, we see the punters. But I mean, guys like Jordan Glasgow, John Runyon, kickoff and punt protection team. Who are some of the guys that are standing out that maybe we might not see?
That's a
stand
great
out?
question, and there's a lot of them, and guys we're really excited about. Jamerick Woods is one that has been phenomenal and just coming on and playing on a lot of different teams. Ben St. Juice is another one who's on a lot of them and coming on. Obviously, Ambry, Brad is now starting on 3 special teams and making his way on the 4th. We have Jalen Kelly Powell is kind of a utility man there, where he's kind of behind a lot of different spots, but you see him in games at times. Nate Shanley's a guy that before he was injured, he was on all 4 special teams. Glasgow's a staple. He has been for 2 years, and he's going to continue to be. Jared Wangler's doing a good job on our kick return and our punt units. Henry Poggi is the PP on our punt, and that's not an easy deal when you're dealing with a freshman snapper and a freshman punter, keeping those guys together and the nerves down and stuff. So he's doing a heck job there. But there's a lot of young talent. We think we got six or 7 true freshmen on kickoff and on kick return. So young guys that are just coming on and getting better and better. And special teams. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We need to make more plays. We need to play better. We haven't been bad by any means. I don't want to put those guys in a tank like they're playing bad. They've been good. They've been executing. Our kickoff team has been really, really good. But we need to now step it up another, a level and make those big plays that are right out there for the taking. And that's something we're pushing for to do is start being more explosive on those units rather than just, hey, we did our job. We came off the field. Nothing bad happened. We're playing well. Well, let's be explosive now, and we're pushing those guys to do that on all units.
How good is the recruiting in New Jersey?
You're asking a guy who's going to say it's phenomenal, obviously. Right. It's where I grew up. But, I think it's really good. I think there's really good players there. They care about the game. They're coached really well. They come in and they have this chip on their shoulder where they love to compete. They love to practice. So I think it's really good. I feel like if you look at Rutgers' team, that's a talented ball club there. And I saw a lot of these guys just not really so much in college, besides the game week, but in high school play. And, there's some talented, young men there on that team where you look at them and say, that's a dangerous ball club. And, I remember them when they were sophomores and juniors in high school just from coaching at Paramus Catholic and knowing the talent that's there. So, it shows up. It's a very talented, rich state.
What's the difference between them this year and some of the results they're getting as opposed to last year?
I can't really speak to last year just because it's only 1 week of the year that you really see them. But I'll tell you this year, they've got, big physical receivers on the outside. They got some speed guys inside there. They got big, tough running backs. And then they got a speed running back that comes in. The left side of the old line is really good, And then the center's a pit bull. The right guard's a pit bull. Their tight end is probably one of the best players on offense. So when we look at them, it's a team that has talent. They have ability. They're playing well. They've won 2 in a row. So it's, I don't remember last year so much, but I know that this year this team isn't, they're no pushover here. They can play football. There's some guys that can make plays out there.
You were still at Paramus Catholic when Michigan started making the push into New Jersey. Why do you think the light bulb went on and all of a sudden New Jersey, they found their way to New Jersey for players?
That's a good question. It's heavily recruited in New Jersey. A lot of schools have recruited for a long time. I'm not sure why Michigan decided to come in before I was here. It's probably just you're looking at it and saying, wow, there's some good players here, but also players that have succeeded elsewhere. They've gone outside of the state and been really successful and done a great job in college. So just by doing that, your homework there, you can see that, kids leave and kids play well and they perform when they move on. So, why not recruit the area? And then when you can get the inroads in there and, start being one of those programs that the guys go to, it's somewhere that just kind of gains momentum.
Rashawn last night said that the All-American Bowl, a lot of the down south schools didn't quite give New Jersey athletes that kind of respect. Did you sense that? When you were coaching there, that you weren't getting you guys that, Texas and Florida for those schools?
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, I think there's been some guys that have gone to Florida. There's been, obviously the young man playing for Alabama right now. It's more they come up for one or two players, whereas, the Northeast and the Penn States and the Ohio States and stuff, they come up for, maybe 5 or 6 players, I think the South schools will spot recruit New Jersey, but that's understandable because, they're down south. And, so I just think, geographically that's the reason. Maybe Rashawn wants to think that, have a chip on his shoulder, and I love it. So we'll keep, letting him think that.